As soon as the healing started, I felt an incredible amount of love in the form of heat that just went through my chest. It was just so much warmth that I could just feel throughout my body, but particularly around the heart. I just felt completely open. Early January of 2018, I was living in London, and one night sitting on my sofa, going through Netflix, and I stumbled upon a documentary by Dr. Joe called Heal. I was very intrigued, so I started watching it, and I just was amazed by Dr. Joe's story. It was the first time I ever came across his work. And I felt how incredibly powerful he was, and his story, how he managed after an accident to heal himself just through his thoughts alone and really reconstitute his spine vertebra by vertebra. So I really felt inspired. And a few days after watching that documentary, I went on a ski trip with my husband. And we were skiing, and it was the end of the day. I was tired, and then I went down one of the slopes quite fast, and there was a bit of a dead angle, and there was a snowboarder that came from the back really fast and hit me. And I just flew up in the air. My skis flew. It was pretty dramatic, and I just landed on my back, and I couldn't feel my legs. And of course, I panicked. And then after a few minutes, my instinct said, just stand up. And I stood up, and I'm like, I'm fine. And then my knees gave in, so I just fell on the floor. And so they had the stretcher come. It was, again, very dramatic, chaotic moment. And I was panicked, of course. I was scared. My whole body was shaking. And they took me to the hospital, and my ligament on both knees were completely gone. So it was a pretty bad accident, very traumatic for my body as well. And so I went home, and the doctor, based on my diagnostic, told me that I had to have surgery. But a little voice inside of me told me that there should be another way. And so I shared that with a friend of mine, and she gifted me a book. And the book was How to Break the Habit of Being Yourself. And I wait a minute, isn't that the same guy that did the documentary that I watched a few days ago? So I felt there was a little wink from the universe, so I started reading the book, and again, was amazed by the work and the connection of the mind and the body. And I decided to do a lot of physiotherapy, so every day I would go religiously to a physiotherapist, and I would religiously do the meditation and do the work. And then I decided to attend a week-long retreat in Berlin, and again, this was in 2018, so back then it was 5 days long. Because I really was then committed to heal myself, and Dr. Joe really inspired me. And so I attended the retreat. And throughout the retreat, as I was doing the meditation, my knee, which had started getting better, was still very stiff. And when you don't have an ACL, you cannot bend it. So after the meditation, little by little, I started getting mobility, flexibility, and literally I could properly bend my knee, which to me was, to my surprise, really incredible. But aside from wanting to heal my knee, I also had another secret wish, which was to become a mother, which was something that was extremely dear to my heart. And that accident had derailed my plans, obviously. And so I was really fortunate, because in that 5-day retreat, there was a healing session. So for those that don't know, Dr. Joe organizes these healing sessions where you become a healie, and then you have healers surround you, and they heal you with their energy. So I was really fortunate to be chosen as a healie in that retreat. And so the day of that healing, I laid down and I closed my eyes. But I will admit that I was a little nervous. So I just kind of asked the universe to give me a sign so I would feel held and I would have some sort of comfort or a familiar face. And lo and behold, as I opened up my eyes, in front of me, there's a friend of mine who was a healer. And so for me, that was really like a little wink that I could completely let go and surrender and completely enjoy the experience, which I did. And it was extremely powerful. As soon as the healing started process, I felt an incredible amount of love in the form of heat that just went through my chest. It was just so much warmth that I could just feel throughout my body, but particularly around the heart. I just felt completely open. And I just started crying because it was just so incredibly beautiful, and it was just this bliss. And I noticed everyone around me was crying as well, and it was this exchange of energy that I just felt in my heart. And then I had my palms open, and I felt the weight on my palms, and in both palms actually the head of two little babies, and it was just so incredibly powerful. And that was a transformation. There was a knowing then that took place that would forever change my life. It was a truth for me. It was my truth. And I ended that meditation extremely emotional, and it was so beautiful that will forever stay with me. And you know, so at the end, my knees are healed. I didn't have to do surgery. I can walk, I can run, which comes very handy because I have to run after two little boys that are 4 and 2. So I am extremely grateful for that.